Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
I am Rex, and this is
A gift from magnificent bastard Matthew Pilgrim.
Matthew Pilgrim, you magnificent bastard. Glen Garioch?
No, actually, it is Glen Geary.
Glen.
Yeah.
It's like you just gave up halfway through the word. Glen.
My favorite is that Heather Green, friend Heather, she still bitches about, like one time she accidentally called it Glen Garioch on camera. Because she was just, you get in your head, you're not paying attention, you pick up words, you're like, oh, Glen Garioch. But she knows it's Glen Geary. She worked with everybody over there. Right. And the internet destroyed her.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
The internet whiskey people destroyed her.
That tends to happen with people that have opinions.
Yeah, she's still mad about it.
Okay.
I mean, of all the people that you couldn't call on their she knows her Glen Geary. So this is cool. This is, to me, this is a weird combination of a distillery that is sort of a sleeper for Scotch drinkers, unless you really know. Like, you're not really going to find many people who know what Glen Geary is.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah. However, one of the oldest distilleries in Scotland.
Okay.
Well, like 1797, right? We're talking old distillery.
Yeah.
Been around for forever. Now, until recently, it was peated. Now, no longer peated.
Okay.
As in the last, slightly over a decade.
Okay. So, on the nose, at first approach, I got a malty, almost like a mead. And then I went back after a few moments, and it became this maltiness with like a vegetal earthiness to it.
You know what I love about this? They call this, there's slang for it, but...
Oh, and then more to go back.
Essentially,
it's more earthy and vegetal.
It's a whiskey that can't be tamed, is sort of how they refer to it. Like, it's so distinct and so dramatic with its flavor presentation that it's just, you can't tame it.
Can't even tame the spelling. Like, who knows how you say that word?
Gurney.
Probably not that.
Glen Garioch. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
No, I love this because it's proof that Speyside, and this is one of the easterly Speysides. Okay. Right? Oh. Okay. It's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, internet, it's the easterly most in Scotland in the Speyside district. It's over by Aberdeen, slightly north, and it's funky.
It's funky, it's earthy, it's vegetal, and then of course there's that malty core to it.
And if you live there long enough, it turns into fruit and cream. But it's still buried behind that malty, musty, like this is a whiskey with heft to it.
Yep. And can we apply a number to said
12
heft?
And that's their entry.
It's 48% ABV.
Yeah. 12. Oh, I thought you were saying age. 12-year-old, 48% ABV, which is, come on, right?
Yeah.
They're doing it solid. Oh, I like the taste way better than the nose, actually.
Oh,
now it's ending perfumey.
You know what that reminded me of? And I think it's why you like the taste. The sweeter elements of this, because the maltiness and the earthiness show up, but the sweet presentation is a very similar presentation to the sweetness of your Longmorn 16.
Yeah, that flowery, floral, honeysuckle, then mixed with, instead of pepper, mixed with like a grain funk.
Yeah. Like
an earthy, mulchy funk.
Yeah, but it's like a cousin to the Longmorn 16 in terms of the sweet character that's in it.
Yeah, minus the pepper. I agree. And it's got real character. It's not buried in butterscotch.
Yeah, and it switches it up. The more you go back to it, you find new things. This is a nuanced whiskey. It's a complex whiskey.
I mean, this is a Highland whiskey that stands in my opinion, in the category of interesting Highland whiskeys.
I agree.
Like that don't blend into the background, right? Like my favorite generic Highland, just standard Highland, is probably Clingy.
Okay.
And it's got that same kind of it's got heft and character. It doesn't taste like this, but it's got that heft and character to it, but it's not a struggle. Yeah. Right? It's not smoky, overly smoky or anything like that. It's just accessible, but it's not boring. I like this a lot.
So oftentimes whenever you have a meaningful amount of sweetness, that's often going to be the thing that's left with you on a finish, like an oily, clingy, sweet finish. The finish for me, though, isn't actually that sweet. the sweetness fades off, and I'm left with the drier elements.
Okay, I have read over and over and over by everybody who's talked about this,
Yes.
that if you add a little water, if you don't add water, you're missing out on what this whiskey has to offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. It did liven it. It woke up the nose a little bit. The malty character, like that sweet, just natural core of maltiness.
I'm looking up one of the
more
notes.
present on the nose.
Yeah, I'm looking up one of the notes that I was trying to find.
And then there's, what is that? Some berries that start to show up on the nose. Wakes up the berries.
I'm letting it set for a second.
Berries, and then like an old antique wood.
Oh yeah. So for me, the berries and cream, which were buried in the nose but were there, are now
more
up
prominent.
front.
Yep. And
It's not near as musty.
You getting that antique wood?
Yeah, no, I am getting the antique wood, but not the grain mustiness as much.
Yeah.
Ooh, they were not wrong. It is far more in the nose anyway, far more interesting.
I like what it did to the nose. It made it different on the taste, but I think I like the taste without water better.
Yeah, I agree.
Did we do too much water?
No, I think it's still here. So here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
See if it jives.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Jump and jive.
Have you been getting into our own supply? We've talked about this.
I've been sampling all the gins. Yeah.
Right. No, we say like we dialed in a gin.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, I'll never have to buy a gin
He's
again.
very excited.
Oh yeah, because my gin purchase budget line item just went to zero now.
Right. And then like, dude, you can't get into your own supply.
You can't tap into your own supply.
Yeah.
So says Fancy Dan. Here's what. It's just as complex, and the palate, not the nose. It's just as complex as the previous taste, but it changed it into more of an expected classic Highland taste. You see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's way more like other Highlands that I've had.
I would agree.
Whereas before it sort of stood alone.
Yeah.
So I still love it. It's still complex.
Yeah.
But it made it fall into a
I
category.
like the palate without the water. I like the nose with the water.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, they're both really nice whiskeys.
Damn, that's good.
Damn. Clayton Roberts, I'm trying to decide if I'm Team Ardbeg or Laphroaig. The taste of Ardbeg is so enjoyable, but the Laphroaig on the wall behind you gives me so many laughs.
Yeah, every time.
I reach for it before I watch. If it's up, Laphroaig it is. And if not, Ardbeg wins the day.
So anytime Emma wins the wall,
Right.
this guy drinks Laphroaig.
Basically, anytime she's in here, she takes the Lagavulin 16 out of its rightful place.
Mm-hmm.
So saith the Whiskey Tribe.
So here was the real question, though, because the last time she did that...
Ross Fudd says, Emma, does it take 2 Laphroaigs to replace Lagavulin 16?
Right? Oh. I'm going to call her and find out.
Oh.
You ready?
Let's
see. Or if I can get reception in here.
Hey.
Hey, you're on speaker. On the vault. And so we have a question from one of the viewers, which was, hey, the last time there was Laphroaig on the shelf, there were like 3 or 4 Laphroaigs. So the question from Ross Fudd was, does it really take that many Laphroaigs to equal a Lagavulin 16?
That's a great question.
What say you?
The answer is no.
That's not a real answer. We need an actual...
So,
How does the math work out to this? Emma?
How's the
It
math?
doesn't take that many Laphroaigs to equal a Lagavulin. I was trying to be very adamant and in both of your faces about how Laphroaig is the ideal option, and it doesn't matter what Laphroaig it is.
Oh, that's the argument.
Like 2 or 3 different Laphroaigs, and they would still
take
be the
your pick.
quintessential
Yeah,
option.
take your pick. It's still better than Lagavulin 16. That's your argument?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, that's fair. All right, later.
How much do you think she's getting paid by?
Oh, yeah,
Laphroaig.
she's getting a second salary from Laphroaig.
She's gotta be.
All right, bye.
She's so hard into Laphroaig. And we're back, apparently.
Yeah, I just was curious as why there was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And so was he, evidently.
Yeah. I'm glad to be aware that this thing exists.
Me too.
Why have I not heard of this?
It's not easy to get.
Okay.
Even though in Scotch circles it's really well known.
Okay, fair enough.
And not as hard as Longmorn 16. But it's up there.
Here's the fighting, stealing, drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a
If you
friend.
steal, may you steal your liver's heart.
And if you jive,
Don't get into your own supply.
May you drink with us.